I'm Kim.
And we are
The Rooted Readers.
And we're back with another book reaction. Today's book is Marcus Makes a Movie by Kevin Hart.
And I'm going to give a little summary on this book and what it was about. So so there's a kid named Marcus, and there's a kid named Marcus, and he goes through bullying, and I feel like that was an important part of the book. But he goes through bullying, and he takes his anger out on his comics. And he's in this after-school program, and usually he likes to do art, but he's always talking about how, like, they don't even do the stuff that I'm interested in. I'm interested in making comics about a person a character that he actually created, which is Toothpick. But he likes art, but he's like, this isn't even what I want to do. So he ends up, the next time, like every now and then you have to sign up for different things. He wants to sign up for art's taken. Then he's like, sign me up for study hall. So he can just sit in the corner and do his comics. Study hall is taken, everything's taken but filmmaking. So he ends up trying out filmmaking, and it really just interests him into making a movie. So
Okay. What was your favorite part, Kim?
My favorite part was when, like, they changed famous people's names, like, example, Tevin Bar, and instead of Kevin Hart, and then
oh yeah, like they also have one instead of the Xbox they had Gamebox.
Oh yeah.
and
Taylor Berry.
And then like the YouTube and the Me Too.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
There were a lot of the ones that I didn't catch on to. Like, I was like, Taylor Berry, who is Taylor Berry? Like,
Yeah, I really like the Taylor Berry one because right now, like, Kevin Hart has his own, like, production company and all this good stuff. And so it was kind of cool. And Camden is over the camera. He doesn't really like to record with us, so
yeah.
we were glad for his contribution. Thank you, Cam. But yeah, I really like the fact that, like, he kind of paid homage, like, showed this little girl, like, super, like, in love with Tyler Perry, and I almost called it the other name. And just kind of paid homage to the fact that there are people who are being influenced. Like, it made me realize how many young kids are really being influenced by Black people who are owning every part of filmmaking, which was not, it's not what Hollywood looked like when I was a little girl. So it's pretty cool. So when I was reading this book, along with like all the funny stuff that I'll kind of get to later, I thought about Dave and his recent experience in an after-school club as well, called DI. And so I'll let him explain about DI, but like basically his teacher called me and said, hey, this year what is it called? The challenge is gonna be a music video. And so he was like, he knows that Dave sings, that he acts, that he what else? That he edits, that he can edit videos. And so we were like, okay, well, he said that would be perfect for Dave. So we're like, okay, that he can go ahead and be a part of it. But then Dave would come home and he's like, okay, well, now they took me out of the song. And then there was a time where, what did they change the song up?
Yeah, they were like, okay, you're gonna write the song because you know how, like, you actually sing, you know how to do stuff. So I wrote my lyrics, and I guess the teacher didn't really like what I was doing, so they didn't even tell me that they were gonna change it. I wrote it, I was like, yes sir, this is good. So I came back to practice the next week, and they passed out the papers for the script of the song, and I was like, these aren't my words, like these, and then they were like, oh yeah, we changed a little bit. Nothing, nowhere near what I wrote. There was nothing that I wrote that was in there. And
so I think at a point too, I remember you saying like that the teacher said, well, I want you to be behind the scenes, which is like not Dave's personality at all. Like when he called me, it was basically like, this, I know that Dave is going to want to enjoy all parts of this because I know what Dave does.
Every single thing, editing, singing, acting, everything that they were doing in this challenge was what I knew how to do and what I love to do. So when I walked in there, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be making a song, I'm gonna be doing this, but they didn't see me doing that. They didn't see me shining in that light. They saw the other kid or the other dude, whoever it was. But yeah, it was like behind the scenes, like what? Like me, like they wanted me to edit the video, record the song. They just wanted to use me for what?
For the talent, the background talents that he had. So, and hopefully, maybe we can put like a little link to the video because it turned out really well. Like he did a really good job of editing. He did a really good job singing the song. But what I liked about this book the entire time that I was reading it, I was like, the message that I've been trying to get across to Dave for a very long time is what this book said to me. Like, I think eventually him and Sierra got over whatever their issue was, but I like the fact that he didn't like the movie that he was originally in, and he didn't like, the script and all that kind of stuff, and he created his own lane. And I'm always telling Dagrin, like, the roles at school are about, white people in the 1800s, exactly. And he's always practicing for something, or he's always trying to get a lead role that was not created for black kids to begin with. So I'm always telling him, create your own lane, create your own script. So I'm glad that he came up with that this story shows, like, if you don't fit into what's going on or whatever, is being presented, create your own lane for it.
Cause I remember auditioning for a play, and I was reading, like they gave you like a little slide to read, and I was reading it, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to get this part. Because every boy wants to get the main male part. So I was like, yeah, I think I want to get this part. So I was reading it, and it was like stuff that I'd never say before. Like they were like gee willikers and golly, and I'm like, what? And I'm just practicing saying it, and it didn't even sound right while I said. I was like, golly, like I was just like.
Or even in the last, he actually got the lead role in the last play. And he did a really good job. Well, maybe if we can put some clips in there. But I remember him coming home and he was like, Mom, well no, first he wore this outfit to school and he was like, I wore this to see if this would be my costume, but they said like, it wasn't preppy enough.
They wanted me to do preppy, so every time, like if they
tried to swag out the prep is what he did.
I've had ripped jeans, Sperry's, collar shirt, but they were like, I think we should do some longer jeans. We should maybe put the collar down, like all of this stuff.
So I typed in prep boy or something like that. Of course, a white boy popped up, and I was like, this is it. I ordered off of Amazon everything that little guy had on, the sweater, whatever. But the biggest thing to me is like this book taught us was that if the lane that has been created is not designed for you, create your own, because that's exactly what Marcus did. He had an idea that he wanted to see filmed. It wasn't Sierra's idea, and he said, okay, I'm gonna make mine either way it goes. So I learned a lot about the process of making a movie in this book.
Yeah, there were a lot of like terms, because I'm in theater, I take theater classes. And there's a lot of terms that like I see on a regular basis at school. So when I was like, oh yeah, I was like familiar with the terms. So I was like, yeah, cool. But there were a lot of other terms that I wasn't familiar with that I also learned about. And it's funny because in every movie, like me and Cam are watching Black Widow now. That's a really long movie. But me and Cam are watching Black Widow, and there's so many scenes. Like I like the movie, but one of the main things that I'm looking at is like how much time this had to take, like all of this stuff, like if all of this stuff is filmed behind a green screen, how many green screens, how much did this cost, how much editing, what type of editing software do they use, like all of this stuff that what?
So I'm glad that your brain is already going in that direction, because this book gave me the idea.
There's always a catch
to make a movie of our own this summer.
I mean, I think we could do it. I think
because you're always writing stories, or like at one point he had this comic called The Bubbies. The Bubbies.
That's what you used to call them.
Yeah, and then I always feel like he's trying out for roles that aren't intended for him at all. So we can start this, creation of your own lane. So how do you feel about that?
I think we can do it. I just think that we'd have to do some serious planning out.
Well, I feel like this book will be like our baby, like our starter of a blueprint,
but I
and we
think
can find everything else out on the way.
Yeah, I think, but we're gonna have to do some serious planning because this is summertime.
Okay, so obviously a good book, a book that had us laughing the entire time. I read it in Kevin Hart's voice.
Huh? Wait, can you give a sample?
I'm not, because the last time y'all laughed at me.
No, give a sample.
No.
Give us. Oh my
Just
give one.
I don't think my impression in my head sounds as
Kevin
good
Hart,
coming out.
We'll tag Kevin Hart and he'll be the judge of that. Just give one sample.
No, because he talks about people, so no. But the entire time, because he has like a big personality, just like the character. So every time like he had a fit or anything, like I was thinking about his comedy. So, not giving the Kevin Hart impression, but I did read it the entire time in Kevin Hart's voice. Obviously, we got to laugh and have some good conversations. What we normally try to do with our book reviews is we don't talk about the book until we sit down on this couch. So many times they came in my office like, okay, just this one part. Just can I tell you this one thing? And we all read the same book, Summertime, and they're eating a lot. So the grocery bill is super high. So we all had like times to read this book. So if the boys missed their time slot, I was not giving this book up. That's how good that it was.
Yep.
So obviously we've been inspired. We have enjoyed laughing and reading this book. Go check out Marcus Makes a Movie by Kevin Hart.
With GL Frodkey, and we are the
Rooted Readers signing off.
Stay rooted and stay reading.
Okay, so I think I'll do t-shirt cam today. We have it on the same t-shirt. Yeah. We have on our Target shirts with what's like the Black History
Pioneers.
No. But what is it called? Their Black History Month. They do the Black History collection. And it has some of our favorite people. Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Maya, who is my absolute favorite. And then good old Frederick Douglass.